Excuse me.
Hafaday, good afternoon. Well, we were just hours from when that verdict came down over the Superior Court of Guam for our former Lieutenant Governor, Ray Tenorio, who now joins us exclusively in our KUAM studios for the aftermath. How you doing?
I'm a lot better. I feel normal for a change. It's been a long, long road. My family, my friends, my wife, and a lot of prayers, and it's been a long journey.
And we'll just remind our viewers also just tuning in here that verdict coming down at just seconds before the court even opened up for business. Obviously, the jurors spent just a couple of hours behind closed doors coming back with that not guilty verdict of charges of reckless conduct, obstructing government functions, all connected, as many of you have heard, to last year's what turned out to be called the gun-grabbing incident down at the Tuan barbecue block party. These past few months, I have to admit, haven't been easy.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends in our community and our family, and they're all there, and they've been standing with me. They've been at the court. We've been talking and preparing. I have an exceptional lawyer, Tom Fisher, and his staff, who have been nothing but absolutely supportive. As I said, my friends and family. It hasn't been easy. It takes a toll when someone accuses you of doing something wrong, especially after a lifetime of trying to do good things for Guam. It wears on you because, my reputation, my mother, my family, we've done everything we can to, build on the values of the Tenorio family and try to bring honor to our family. And when anyone accuses you of doing something, whether it's on a social network or in a formal setting like the Attorney General, it wears on you.
It really can. And so we've heard the story time and time again from you following that incident on the stand again when they replayed it, and from your accounts as well. For our viewers here that are just getting caught up, what happened last July?
When you're a cop, and I respect all of those officers. I want to thank Sergeant Carl Cruz and Anthony Borja, Tim Certeza, even J.I. Cruz, every single person who came, Opindo, they're all good men. They do good work, and I respect them. I mean, I feel, once you're a cop, you're always a cop.
Right.
Like once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine.
Right.
You feel like that's your brotherhood, your family, and I have absolute respect for them. J.R. Fligager and I are friends for many, many years. We're on patrol together for God knows how many events, and we know what the streets are like, and when you got to be there for your fellow man. And, I thought I was trying to be there for my fellow man, and I did what I thought was the best thing for public safety and for the officer's safety. I want nothing but good things for those men. They're just good, hardworking people who want to make our island safe, and that's what I want to do too. I tried to do what I thought was right, and I can understand how people can find fault with that. But the culture in the police departments were always there for each other, even when things are hard. Even when things it may not be textbook, it may not be in a classroom, but you're never going to have a bad guy come up to you in the front and try to do something to you in open. He's going to take any vulnerability, and if I see a vulnerability for an officer that might save his life, I'd rather be the one to do it than the other guy.
Yeah, and so that's what you were saying up there. You did. Your defense attorney, Tom Fisher, up there arguing for you your case about that it was in the matter of public safety. And then I want to also discuss the part of the testimony following that incident. You went into your vehicle and reached out to Chief of Police J.I. Cruz.
Sure.
Tell us what about that interaction.
J.I. is a good man. He was a great chief of police. And Steve Ignacio, I'm so happy he's been appointed the chief of police. He's got a great heart too, and I tell you, I testify in support of his nomination. But J.I., when I spoke to him on that night, I was basically telling him, look, anybody, as I said, if they wanted to grab that firearm and they, he's walking amongst thousands of people, and you just find that one guy you saw before, Mr. DeSoto, and what happened down in Tuman, he's just looking for that opportunity. That one opportunity meets that, something could go wrong. So, I told the chief, and I said, look, and I even told on the stand, look, let's not make a big deal of it. That's what Sergeant Carl says to me, and I said, I totally agree. So I spoke to the chief just for the interest of his safety, and I texted him afterwards, making sure he understood. I don't want anything to happen to Sergeant Carl Cruz or anybody else down there. This is just to make sure that they're safe. Not just today, but in the future.
What was going through your mind when they replayed the interviews from the media and you had to again bear all the apologies and the regrets that that were tallied up there. What was going through your mind?
Well, first of all, I've never been averse to saying I'm sorry. I really never have. If I step on somebody's toes, if I don't open the door for a lady, if I interrupt, I just came from lunch with my wife at Duzitani at the Aqua, and I turned the corner and there was one of the servers there, and she was kind of startled, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I was going to ask you about something, and I said, I didn't mean to startle you. She said, oh, it's okay, I just was thinking about something else. But, I don't have a problem with saying I'm sorry. And you know the media. You know the sound bites that you operate with most of the time. It's not running live all the time. You don't have that much bandwidth. You got to run the story. You got 30 seconds. Got to move on to the other thing if you're lucky.
Right.
So when somebody asks you a question, like they did in my office, I wanted to be clear in every single time that I had the opportunity to respond to the media, that they understood those words and my sentiments, that I never intended anything bad to happen, and I regret that this was a distraction to the police department or the governor or anyone else. No good deed goes unpunished, like my attorney said, and I don't want, I've never wanted anything but public safety and to help the men in blue, and I did my level best to do that for 8 years. But you know what? Look, you guys got a job to do in media, and sometimes you can't hear all the evidence, you can't run it all, you don't have enough time, so you got to get to the point that you think that will help you sell some ads and get to the gist of the issue and then move on to the next story. And thankfully, the jurors were able to see all the evidence and hear and weigh it and decide for themselves what the facts were.
You had a very stern, direct gaze towards the clerk of the court as she read off that verdict.
Sorry if I had a stern look. It was kind of surreal.
Was it?
Yeah, you don't know what the next words coming out of her mouth is. And Cindy has been a great judicial employee for many, many years. And we used Judge Bedalia's courtroom, and I thank him, and as well as La Miranda for letting us use the courtroom. By the way, Judge Cizon did an amazing job, very balanced and fair. I think he was a really good man. I just tell you, when you hear those words, not guilty, and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop for the next verdict, my head, it dropped for a second there, because I finally felt the weight of all this for many, many months clear.
All of this was unfolding. Your case was going through the motions leading up to trial during campaign season. Do you think that in any way this might have affected or harmed it in any way?
Let me put it to you this way. My wife Madoka and I and our family, we want to move forward. I want Lulian Guerrero to be the best governor she can be. I want her to achieve the things that she wants to get done. Is it good for Guam? And I don't think anyone in this campaign for governor had any malice or bad intentions. I think their heart was in the right place, and they ran the campaign that they had to run. The media seized on the story, and it's a sensational story. But it was, did it have an effect? I'm sure. I don't think many people could deny that. But I offered myself to the people of Guam because I love Guam. I love this island. I love this community. And I want to make it the best place I can. And now that Lou and Josh are there as governor, lieutenant governor, I want them to succeed, and I want their administration to succeed. If there's anything I can do to help them do that, I'll be happy to do it. But I'm not here to look back and live in the rearview mirror. I'm looking through the front windshield. I want to go forward and see what the next chapter of our lives are going to be, and put this behind us.
Yeah. Was that transition period unsettling and rocky, I guess, for the transition from you to the new administration?
No, I think we did a pretty good job. We got some great people working up there. Stephanie Flores, Tony Babanta, a lot of people that want to make a difference in this administration and improve everything from grants to getting more cops and financing the hospital and not creating, the things we talked about, educating our people so they have a future and they don't resort to a life of crime. These are things that are important, really important, and they're still important. And if they succeed in doing the things that, we all generally agree that need to be done, then we all win.
About 30 years of public service, half of that with the police department, correct?
Mhm.
Do you feel that this case, be that as may, it was a win, it was a victory for you, not guilty, but still you having to go through all this and being charged and going through the motions of undergoing trial, how has this affected you as a public servant and as a resident here of Guam?
Can I say something before I
Sure.
go to that? I really want to thank the 6 jurors and the 2 alternates, and the prosecutor, Chief Basil Mallon, and A.V. Camacho, the investigator, and all the people working in the judiciary. This was not an easy trial for them, nor was it easy for me. But as a person, now that I pray that, we can all move forward and, thank God for the outcome. There was people that are not happy with this outcome, but the jury weighed the evidence and they found, the truth, and I'm happy for it. To your question, which is what again?
Oh, how do you think this affected you as a public servant?
Well,
all the years.
it's been a distraction for me as much as anyone. I didn't go from not being governor to just Ray Tenorio. I became a defendant, and so I've had to just focus my attention on preparing, working with an amazing legal talent Tom Fisher is, and the amazing work that he did to finally, hopefully, restore the honor of my name, my family, and it's affected me greatly. And I've lost weight. I've definitely eaten a lot better, I think, because I wanted to take care of myself and get through this ordeal, and now here we are.
How long do you think it'll be before you feel like yourself again?
I kind of feel like myself now, actually. I feel a much greater sense of normalcy when you don't have this weighing on you. You don't have to worry about whether or not somebody's standing in judgment of you, especially on a level of severity as a criminal charge. However, misdemeanor or felony, anybody who goes through the criminal justice process feels the weight that this brings. And so I just want to move forward and see what doors that God opens up from me going forward from here.
Yeah. Positive attitude, not feeling bitter about...
No, nothing. As I said, these officers, the judge, the prosecutor, the Attorney General himself, the people of Guam, the governor and lieutenant governor, and senators all want to do good things for Guam. So do I. I want to do good things for Guam. Did a lot of home improvements,
Right.
and got my house in better condition, and I'm happy to be able to get some of those deferred maintenance done. But now I can really I can breathe a little bit easier.
I'm sure. And obviously when you were walking out of the courtroom, it was a lot to take in, as I can imagine. But then one photo that we were able to capture was this. It's you holding your wife right after the verdict.
And my wife was crying, so she was, we're all worried, so it's an emotional experience. And when your wife hurts, and your kids hurt, and your mother in heaven hurts, and you think about all the things you've done in your life to try to make things good, and then finally there's relief. It's a good feeling. It's tears of joy.
That's what I was going to ask, but still leaves you
Breathing.
Back. Yeah.
My attorney told me, breathe, before we went into the courtroom, so I did, and I prayed a lot, and left it to God and left it to the jury, and look, I know this island sometimes seems like, especially in social media, people can be, however they want to be, but I really hope that an island we can try to love each other, respect each other, understand. The judicial system is not perfect. It's not. But those jurors had a job, and they did it. So did the judge and the prosecutor. And I respect every one of them. And I thank my wife for the love, appreciate it, support. So many people that I can't thank, because there's too many. So many supporters who were there, and your blessings that you sent. I thank you for those. Mean a lot.
A lot of your former cabinet members, staff from the government under your administration showing support as well.
Yeah.
What's next for the former lieutenant governor of Guam?
I told you, right? I don't, you don't shut any doors or burn any bridges. You never say never, and you you know, you see what unfolds. You know, I got a lot of great supporters out there. I got a lot of haters out there too. You know, you don't get to a position in life, you know, anchor KUAM without somebody else wanting your position, right? I mean, you know, it's just the nature of the beast, I guess, sometimes, is that, you know, the higher you climb, the more people want to tear you down. But, and I've always said that, you know, there's no bad people running for elected office that I know of. They just want to do good things. The future is whatever, I guess, fork in the road I decide to take with my wife and our family and our supporters. But, you know, we'll see.
Public office?
Always possible. Always possible.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to say in regards to the verdict before I let you wrap things up?
I want the people of Guam to know that Ray Tenorio, Basil Mallon, Carl Cruz, J.I. Cruz, Tom Fisher, so many people, Ben Cison, they did their jobs. They all testified, and they did what they thought was right, and that's fine. I have no angst, no anxiety, no ill feelings, you know, and I hope the same for other people. The justice system did its job. I respect the judges, the judges of fact, which is the jurors, and I thank them for sitting through this. It's not easy. I tell you, I've never been through this. I never want to go through it again, but I respect what has to be done. We live in a system of justice, checks and balances, and those things took their course. We as a people have a decision to make in our life, good or bad. But if your heart's in the right place, if you try hard, if you aspire for greater things, you know, bring other people with you. You know, try to be the better man and do good things, because good things come back to you. I'm not perfect. I never have. I apologize for this repeatedly. I still feel that I did the right thing for the right reasons, and I love the people of Guam, my family, and I appreciate you and the media who have done an honest job of presenting the facts as best you can and as unbiasedly and with a journalistic perspective that you really should bring, because the people rely on good media, good people in media to tell the truth and to do it objectively. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. Appreciate it.
Ray Tenorio, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak
welcome,
with you
man.
as well.
Thank you, man.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Right. Again, you just heard from former Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio speaking with us exclusively in our KUAM studios just hours after a jury returned that verdict of not guilty. He's acquitted of all those charges. And now, the next of his life, it's up to him. We'll see you guys tonight on Primetime.